Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we? Good morning. Good to see us all. How is everybody doing? Welcome this lovely morning. Indeed, this is the day the Lord has made. We rejoice and we are glad in it. I'm so happy to see us all. Thank God for life, for health, for strength. Thank God for vitality. Good morning. Welcome. So this is the 28th of February, the last Monday in the month. The last Monday in every month, I try to go live, or I will go live to discuss something that will help us in the course of the year. This is like an offshoot of Wiser. Those of us who were at Wiser, especially when John Obidi spoke and said, "Oh, we should do this. We should do this. We should continue Wiser," and then we're looking for a way to keep up sort of like the momentum, something to give us some strength for the day or for the week, for the month. And so I chose the last Monday because it starts the week. So something to give us some strength for the week, and it's not too often so that we don't burn out, right? So I'm wishing us all a fantastic week. And I decided to just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I decided to discuss winning your year, winning your year, winning your year, winning your year. This beautiful day, because many of us have planned, and we have been planning. So how do we keep winning if we will stick? How do we keep winning whilst we stick with our plans? Or you know what I mean? How do we stay winning through the year after planning? How do we stay through the year? How do we win through the year after planning? So that's what we are discussing today. And I'm taking my cue from the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That was like the light bulb book for me last year, 2021. And it still guides me. It guided most of the decisions I made last year. It was super helpful. I would say a large percent of my winning in 2021 was owed to what I got out of that book. I read 3 books really last year, and that was the number 2 book. So today we'll discuss the first habit. Habit number 1. How many of us have read the book before? How many of us not just have read it? How many of us remember what we read? If you have, please write in the chat. I have. I don't know why my chat is showing in a funny way, so I'm not seeing it very clearly. Oh, what do I do? Okay, I think I should. Oh, yes, it's better now. How many of us have read the book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People? If we're going to be effective this year, if we're going to win this year, then I'll just jump into what that number 1 says, okay? It says, be proactive. Be proactive. Be proactive. Be proactive. Thank you very much. Just leave it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Fantastic. I'm glad you have it. Good thing is, because you have it, after now, you are going to read at least chapter 1 and take some references. So let me open my Google here and check the meaning of proactive. In fact, I think I should do it here so I can share the screen. What does proactive mean? Of a person or action creating or controlling a situation rather than just responding to it after it has happened. Wow. Creating or controlling a situation. Creating or controlling a situation. Creating or controlling a situation rather than just responding after it has happened. Wow. I will create what happens to me in 2022 rather than just respond after whatever has happened. Oh, this year, well, I was only able to I was only able to hire one new staff, because of the economy, because of the way the condition of the country is. And so a bill, Buhari economics happened to all of us. So we just day as we day. You know what I mean, right? Many of us, not many of us, myself included, have reacted to happenings so much that we then say things like, well, that's just how I am. Or there's nothing I can do about it now. That's just how it is. If you know what I'm talking about, you can show me any emoji in the chat. Just drop any emoji at all. Well, that's just how life is. That's what it is. That's how I am. That's how we are. That's how Nigeria is. If you don't align, you lose. If you don't, what's that thing we say now? If you don't something, we say forget about. Well, you know what I'm talking about. So how do we become proactive? How do we become proactive? Thank you. I'm seeing your emojis. How do we become proactive? Two ways. We start proactivity in two areas of our lives. Number one is in our thoughts, which affects our language. So thought and language is one. Thought and language is one because you say what you think. You say what you think. So it's difficult to change your language without changing your thoughts. So number one is thought and language, and number two is action. Thought, language, action. Yes, if you don't get it, you forget about it. Thank you, Bardi. Thought, language, action. Thought, language, action. Thought, language, action. So from this morning, if we will win in 2022, we will start saying things like, or rather than say things like, there's nothing I can do about it, we would say, what can I do about it? There's nothing I can do about it. What can I do about it? Rather than say, there's nothing I can do about it, proactive language will say, what can I do? 5 W's and 1 H. Who can I call? Where can I go? Why did this happen in the first place? When should I call? How can I go about it? Does it make sense? Not no more ever. There's nothing I can do about it. What can I do? So you want to see someone. Let's just create one random scenario. You want to see somebody, the managing director, the MD of one of the commercial banks. Let's just say the MD of First Bank. You want to see the MD of First Bank. And you just say, wow, for this life, the MD of First Bank, how am I ever going to see? Well, he's not even in my caliber. Let me just stay where I fit. Question is, who can I see that can take me to him? Where can I go that I will see him? When will I see him? How can I make it happen? Oh, he plays golf at the Ikoyi Golf Club. My cousin is a member. So can I go with my cousin so that I block him there? So when we go, can I just start asking people around, like, do you know this guy? And somebody will know him. When do you usually see him? And they say, oh, he's here every Thursday. Oh, so now I know I should show up on a Thursday and I'll have to sit around here, because you are asking proactive questions like, where can I see him? How can I make it happen? Not just, I beg, he's out of my league. Now, you would see that it might take you planning of 3 weeks. It will take you to go meet your cousin who you haven't seen in 5 months, to say, I want to join you to the Ikoyi Golf Club, blah, blah, blah. It might even make you go to Lagos if you don't even live in Lagos. But you are closer to making it happen because you have thought and said, what can I do? And then you begin to take action. I will show up. So imagine you show up the first Thursday and he's not there, and you ask somebody, they say, we heard he traveled abroad. You show up the next Thursday, and you show up the next Thursday, and maybe on the seventh Thursday he shows up. Guess what? You are winning because you did. You took proactive steps by saying and then by doing. If this is making sense to you, please write MS in the chat. And at the same time, you can click on the share button and share to someone and say, I think you should hear this. And for those of us in the chats, thank you so much. Oh, life issues with Chinyere. I like that you've put a title to it. Yay. And Senior Cresta, good morning. So this is not the year. Thank you. This is not the year for there's nothing I can do about it for any situation ever. This is not that year. That year passed and will never come back. Oh, they said I have heart disease. My heart is behaving funny. Oh my God, it must be because of my age. And they've been telling me, no. Stop that. Stop. That's reactive, reactionary. Proactive is, okay, so they said I have this. How do I change it? How do I flip it? What do I do? My darling friend, one of my dearest friends, Vicky, many years, well, not too many, maybe 3-4 years ago, she was told she had multiple fibroids. One was this size, another one was that. And, we need to do this, we need to do that. This one is blocking this and that. And she said, you know what? I think she read it somewhere, or I don't remember exactly how it said it, but she was like, I can take this thing. I don't have to react only to what the doctors are saying. I can change my situation. So what do I do? So she began to research, and then she realized that fibroids grow based on, the growth rate of fibroids is like directly proportional to the kind of carbs you eat. And she changed her diet from simple carbs to complex carbs. She started eating things like black rice, bulgur wheat, blah, blah. She changed her diet and this and that. She was eating more vegetables. Same kind of things we've always known or heard of, but now with a very strict schedule. In maybe 2 months or so, of the 3-4 fibroids she had, only one was left. The others had shrunk until they disappeared. And then finally, the last one the very big one became so small, the doctor said she didn't need surgery anymore. That's how she changed her whole lifestyle. So not just did she shrink her fibroids, her skin became better, her sight became better, her whole body became better, her mindset became better. She was proactive toward revamping her health. She wasn't going to say because the doctor said. One of that dear friend and big sister of mine had funny teeth. Her teeth were misplaced, as it were, and it used to give her a very bad self-image. She couldn't smile. She was very reluctant to speak in public. And then one year, she said, how about you change your life, okay? How about you take charge? So what can I do? Question, what can I do? She went and saw an orthodontist, and they talked about it, and they said, okay, you'll be on braces for almost 2 years or something. It's going to cost you this amount of money. It was a lot. But then she had a good job, and she could afford it if she planned. She did. She started wearing the braces constantly for, I think, almost 2 years. Now her teeth are so aligned, so beautiful that people actually pay her compliments like, wow, you have such lovely teeth. And she goes, wow. She became more confident. She began to speak. She even joined the training team in her organization. And she's today because she took action. If you will win in that thing you want to do, you want to write a book. Somebody reached out to me sometime last year, or no, 2020. She said, Joyce, I want to write a book. In fact, I have put things aside, material aside for my book for how many years now? This, that. But every time I start, I collapse. Every time I start, so what do I do? You see, if you're going to win your year, you're going to ask proactive questions. What can I do? Where can I go? Who should I speak to? So she reached out to me because she had asked herself, who should I speak to? Let me speak to Joyce, who has written 2 books. So you ask, who can I speak to? This thing I want to do, who else has done it? And now it's not just speaking to speak to tick a box, it's speaking to gain insight as to what action I could take. So she reached out to me and I said, I didn't write my books, really. I got someone, I called my friend Yvonne, who is a publisher. And I said, Yvonne, I have the books in my head. I need them out on paper. And I know I'm not going to type or write anything. So what do? I said, I even have the title. And she said, fantastic. Let's jump on a call. Let's just give me a moment. I'll call you back. Let me get out my book and write out things. So she started asking me a question. What's the book about? Who is it for? What do you want to say? And we were on a phone call. And I was telling her all these things and she was writing them down. And she said, okay, I'm going to record the call. And we talk. And she said, okay, I would send you an outline for the book. This was my first book mastery. I'll send you an outline for the book. I will tell you how many chapters there would be and what each chapter should address based on all these things you said to me. I said, fantastic. In about 2 days or so, she sent me the outline. Chapter 1 should answer 5, 6, 3, I think it was 3 to 4 questions. She wrote the questions, this, that. And she said, does this look like the book you want? And I said, yes. Perhaps we can add one more chapter here about this, and we can add this here, add that here. And she took notes, fine. Then she said, send me the answer to all these questions by voice note. Wow. And all the answers to the questions were here. So I opened my WhatsApp, looked at the questions. Question number 1, why is this? And I went to my voice recorder. The reason why this is that is answer, send. Second question, answer, send. Third question, answer, send. I sent it to her, sent them to her. She came back and said, okay, next time, try and make sure each voice note is about 2 minutes. You can send me 10 voice notes, but make sure each one is less than 2 minutes. Don't do this 5-6 minute, so that it helps you put your thoughts together. This, and I said, okay, sent her the next set. In a few days, she sent me back the transcripts, what she had written out of everything I said. And she said, does this look like your chapter 1? I put my hands on my head. I was like, this is my chapter 1. This is my chapter 1. And in a few weeks, I was done answering all the questions. All the other things were now, okay, we want pictures here. I want other people to contribute into the book. Let me write to this person. Let me write to that person. But you see, the book was complete. The book was done. And my second book was the same way. And my third book has been the same way. That one will be released next year by the grace of God. I wanted it to be released on my 40th birthday, but I changed my mind to sometime next year. But another book is coming out this March. It's a free book. It's a gift to the world. And pretty much, this was a bit more, some more research, because it wasn't from my head. We were getting research from here and there, but pretty much the same way. How do we make it happen? I can't write. So rather than say, well, I can't write, so I don't even know how to type, so let me just leave it. So it's not really for me. Now them one day, we go see. No. What can I do? Who can I call? Right? If you will remember something throughout the year, please remember this. But I'll ask it. I won't say, let me ask it. Were you born talking? No. Were you born walking? Were we born sitting? Were we born running or brushing our teeth? No. We learned everything. We learned how to sit. We learned how to talk. We learned how to walk. We learned how to stand. In fact, we learned how to suck. For those of you who have seen newborn babies, how they struggle in the first 2 days, sometimes first 2-3 days to suck. They start sucking and then they remove the mouth from the breast or the bottle because they're struggling. They're trying. They don't know how to. They were not born with it. When they were in the womb, they were drinking the amniotic fluid, but it didn't take a lot of effort to suck. It was just an in and out flow. Now they had to learn to suckle on something, keep their mouth on one thing. So they struggle. So children were not even born sucking. So we weren't born proactive, many of us, in quotes. So we can learn to be proactive. So learn it. Start it today. By all means, think on paper. Pick a pen right now, if you may, and if you can, if you must, and start writing the things you had already begun to conclude couldn't be done by you. Now, how can I do them? I needed to reach someone, and I had been thinking, who should I ask? So I started asking everybody. Let's just start asking everybody. And finally, somebody said, okay, I know somebody who knows somebody. Write a list. If I ask the 16 people, know how one person no go know. Then if you don't know the 16 people, how can I even begin to know them? What group do I need to join? What association do I need to register with so that I can be around the people who know what I need or who have what I need? By all means, I will not just react to life, I will be proactive. So there's some scenarios where you might find yourself, you say, oh, she made me so angry. Oh, she made me so angry. Change the language now to say, I got really angry, because it was a choice. Regardless of what she did, you chose to be angry. There were other options. You could have looked at her, shaken your head, and walked away. But no, you chose to be angry enough to lose your temper. She made me lose my temper. No. And I lost my temper. Why did I lost my temper? I lost my temper because in that moment, I didn't think of my other options. I lost my temper. That was my choice. I could have said, you know what? I don't even have your time today. I'm just going to walk away. You see, I heard about the US Army. I think it's same in the Nigerian Army, but I haven't confirmed 100%. You're told if you're going to get into a conflict, you see a conflict situation with your spouse, walk away. The moment it's becoming heated, leave the scene. I think that's the first code. Leave the scene. Leave the scene, because when you stay around the scene, you might be tempted to do something you shouldn't do, lose your temper, get so upset, get into some argument, exchange blows and slaps or something. So leave the scene. That they are taught to do that, especially not just with any kind of conflict, but especially with your spouse. That's being proactive. What can I do to douse this situation? First of all, I leave. Then I go somewhere, cool down, take a few deep breaths, and I can come back so that we avoid the tension buildup. So, not that he made me so angry, he made me so mad, I just slapped him. No, rather say, I decided to hit him to show him how angry I was. I decided to beat her to teach her a lesson. You see, you become responsible for your action. That's being proactive. So now, whether your choice of action was right or wrong, that's a totally different story, but you're taking responsibility for the action. I chose to. I decided to. Oh, they said I was late, that's why I couldn't join the interview. No, rather say, I arrived late and therefore couldn't join the interview. Own it. If you were there on time, it wasn't what they said, it was what you did. I arrived late. I wasn't allowed to see him. Okay? What else did you do? How else did you make it happen? So guess what? I went to wait for him by his car. I stood by his car till he closed from work and he saw me at his car. They did not let me see him upstairs. That was okay. So I chose where I could see her or where I could see him. I waited by her car. I went downstairs and I figured out her car. I asked 1 or 2 people and I waited there. I left because I knew she would close. I asked them, they said she closes around 7. I left at 7:15. I returned and I sat by that car and I blocked her there because I took responsibility. This morning, my scripture for the day was James chapter 2. Yesterday was James 1. The day before was Hebrews 13. James 2. Guess what? I'm going to share with us verse 26. That was the last verse for 25 and 26 because it's the Message translation. That was the last verse for today. See what it says. Verse 25 says, the same with Rahab, the Jericho harlot. Wasn't her action in hiding God's spies and helping them escape, that seamless unity of believing and doing? I believe, therefore I do. What counted with God? Wasn't it that counted with God? The very moment you separate body and spirit, you end up with a corpse. Separate faith and works, you get the same thing, a corpse. The King James will say faith without works is dead. Separate faith and works and you get a corpse. Separate faith and works and you get a corpse. If you say you have faith yet you have no action, it's dead. It's death. So in 2022, if we will win this year, for everything we say we believe or we have faith for, we would ask, what am I doing to be responsible for this success? Remove breath from the body. Separate breath from the body and there is no more life. Separate action from faith and there is no life. So I would like you to take the next few minutes before we all run along. I know some people might already be on their way to work right now, or you're getting ready to do something. You might be very busy whilst you're listening to this, or you're relaxed like me. If you are in whichever state, please, within the next hour, if you can, not if you can, please take responsibility, especially if you haven't done it already. Write out the two or three, those top 2 or 3 things you had said you would do this year. And begin to identify what you would need to do to make them happen. Would you need to move house? Would you need to change city? Would you need to get a new degree or a certificate program? Then you might now go online and find, and you might say, okay, I need to attend this program. I need to get a course in this. But the money, before you do that, ask, how can I get it for cheap or for free? If you are insisting that money is the challenge and you cannot begin to ask yourself, how do I raise the funds? Because life is in phases, men are in sizes, faith is also in sizes, faith is progressive. You might not have faith for how do I raise the funds, you might have faith for how do I get it for free. Look, whichever way you're being proactive. By the time you Google certificate or diploma in this, free diploma in that, guess what? You'll find it somewhere. Whether you can access it is another story, but I can almost tell you will find it somewhere. And if you don't find free, you will find one staggered payment or something, or next to nothing. So by all means, search for it. Start searching. Start looking. Would you need to employ a teacher for yourself? Someone who can teach you day to day? Whatever it is, what do you need to do? So in trying to live a healthier life, I joined 2. One of them is purely a gym group, workout exercise group. Now we talk about what do you call it? We talk about national issues, social discourse, from time to time. The other one is purely fitness. We only discuss health and wellness. And in that group, so I joined this group so that I could stay accountable and stay around people like me who are very interested in health and wellness. And in joining this group, once in a while, someone would drop one YouTube video to see on this. So there was one video I saw last year. They dropped it about the benefits of fasting for health, fasting as a lifestyle. I'm trying to remember the exact title. It was by a Dr. Pradeep, something Pradeep. is Indian, works in a hospital in the US. Apparently, has lived in the US for a very long time. He's a cancer specialist. He treats cancer patients and all. And then over time, he did his medical research to see how to treat cancer without necessarily always feeding the person with more chemicals. And so he found that fasting is an extremely successful way to treat many degenerative diseases. Well, when you've been checked for this, that, and the other, you might fast and then also be on a vitamin D supplement or something. So anyway, he recommended regular fasts. So if you could live the fasted life, which is every day you eat within only 6 hours. So if you eat your breakfast at 12 noon, between 12 and 6, you should have your second meal if you must, or just have one meal, because the body actually spends too much energy trying to break down food. The world over, people die from overeating more than undereating. More people die from overfeeding than hunger in the world, because many of the degenerative diseases are tied to food, right? So guess what? He has treated so many people, placing them on fasting where they just drink water for 5 days and then they see their bodies are changing and blah, blah, blah. And then they come back and then they change their diet. And after a while, they fast again. And he said, you know what? Just make it a lifestyle. Have a 36-hour fast, say once every week. So myself and my bestie started last year. Every Saturday and Sunday we fast. So after having our meals on Friday evening, the next time we eat is Sunday afternoon or early evening, about between 3 and 4 on Sunday. Christmas Day was a Saturday, guess what? So we weren't eating Saturday and Sunday of Christmas, New Year. And well, it's like play. It's been months already. I will tell you, my body does feel stronger. I feel better. And I won't have to struggle with certain things anymore, because when it becomes a lifestyle, look, go and find that video with Dr. Pradeep on fasting. For those of us who, especially if you're over 35 and you want to just get into that healthier life, see which of the fasts will work for you. And every 6 months, you can do the 5-day water fast, where for 5 straight days, all you take is water and some teas. Just drink water. It allows your body rest and heal itself. You might feel uncomfortable on day 2, but you actually have enough energy to exercise and all of that. That's being proactive. What can I do? The point has been made. It's now up to us to take the action. So write those 2 things down, 3 things. I had said I would do this year. So what can I do? Who do I speak to? Where do I go? How do I make it happen? And after that, begin to take action. Set your reminders. Let your phone have all sorts of alarms and reminders every few days, every few hours, reminding you to drink water, reminding you to call this person, reminding you to do this, reminding you to do that. That's how we get more organized. Yesterday, I watched a video. I stumbled on it somewhat because I wanted to watch something else. And then that was the next video that came up. And I just said, you know what, let's listen. It was once again talking about the practice of those who succeed. The practice of those who succeed. And it says the word that makes people most successful is called conscientiousness. Conscientiousness is made up of 4 things. 4 things. It's these 4 together that make for the most success. Wow. Okay. It made sense. 4 things. Number 1 is what we call hard work or diligence. Many times we just focus on this, but it's only 25%. Hard work and diligence. Number 2, and in no particular order, I'm just saying it the way I remember. Number 2 is organization, the ability to plan and organize, put things in order, think on paper. Okay, so today, what are the 3 things I'm doing today? Who am I calling today? Where am I going this week? What am I doing this month? How am I making it this year? People who are constantly planning or organizing tend to be more successful, especially when they are diligent and or they work hard to ensure that they organize. Number three will be prudence. Prudence, the ability to make right decisions. The ability to make right decisions. Prudence. Prudence. Now, yesterday, okay, well, I'll finish number four and then I'll tell you about my experience yesterday. Prudence, the ability to make good decisions, wise decisions, to think through. And finally, the fourth one is perfectionism, the need to look again. You've done your work, but can you take a second look? Could I have made this part smoother? Could I do this better? Could I write this clearer? That ability to look a second time and want to improve. When he says perfectionism, perfectionism, wanting to be better, wanting to be better, wanting to be better. Not just, let me just do it. They said I should show up, so I show up. No, write your CV, then you look at it. Is this how a CV should look? Who else can I call to look at the CV? Okay, then I go and search for CV experts. Oh, can you imagine? Hashtag CV expert. I even found that there's someone on Instagram. Oh, let me even call this person. Hi, I have my CV. I'd like you to take a look at it. And I say, okay, well, this CV you wrote was good last year. For this year now, we use this format. We do this. We do. Okay, so that ability to want it to be better. Wow, and it made sense. That is when you put these four together that you find you are more successful. Oh, are you serious? Hope. Nice. Thank you, Precious. And you see, it's easier to remember hope if you have it in acronym form. Hard work, being organized, perfection, and what's E now? Hope. Okay. The way you will remember it so that you can apply it, right? So yesterday, I was to see someone. I was in my village in Ewu, Idunwele Ewu of Esan Central. I had needed to see someone in Igwebe. And I had a short time because I was to be part of two meetings in my village yesterday. At 3 o'clock. And this was already almost 2. And I needed to rush down to Igwebe. Now, because he had called me to say, oh, he was around, we should see, blah, 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 blah. I just got this car and I moved to Igwebe. And by the time we were coming back, it was almost 3:30 and those two meetings had begun to call me to say, we're waiting for you. We've done our initial conversations. Now it's time for you to speak. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming. And then I thought about it, Joyce. Prudence. Prudence is the ability to make wise decisions. What could I have done differently to avoid this? I could have asked questions. He said to me, the person I went to see said to me, oh, I'm here, come. I could have asked him, are you leaving tomorrow? Are you only here today? How many days? And because I realized he's going to be in town for almost the whole week. So I didn't have to go yesterday. Are you seeing how it plays out? Sometimes he told me to come, so I went. He told me, I've given him responsibility. I didn't take responsibility. Taking responsibility will mean, okay, so besides today, can I see you tomorrow? What about, oh, okay, fantastic. Oh, so Tuesday is perfect. So that I can stay here and concentrate, save that money, save that time, be on time to my meetings. Joyce, be prudent, be proactive. He told me to come, so I went. You see how sometimes we react without knowing? Can you imagine? So I just smiled to myself and I said, you see, it means that per time, we should be thinking. And then I remembered my opening book in 2016. The book I read in February 2016 is called Master Strategies by what's his name now? It's not Steve Covey, it's the other person, Brian Tracy. Master Strategies. And one of the things he said in that book was some of the most successful people are those who review almost every minute. Some people do an annual review, some review of your life, review of your relationship, where you are. Some people do monthly reviews, some people do quarterly reviews, some people do weekly reviews. He says if you do daily to almost hourly reviews, you tend to be miles ahead because you're asking questions more frequently. So guess what? You'll be getting better results. In that moment when he said, come, I should have done a review there and said, why? If not now, when? May I see you tomorrow, sir? Would you still be around? Dr. Pradeep. Dr. Pradeep. Let me write that, Doctor. I think this is the correct spelling. But if you just search for fasting, fasting as a lifestyle, or fasting for living, fasting for healthy living, or something, I'm sure he will come up. So, as we close, finally today, please check again. Oh, my children don't listen to me. They are teenagers. No, 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 no. How do I get my teenagers to listen to me? Oh, my wife doesn't do this. Women now. No, no, no. How do I get to do this? Oh, all these people now, they don't go school, so they do as they like. How do I get them to listen and do what I need them to do? There is always a way. Someone else has done it. Find how they did it, or sit down and introspect and get it done. I love you so much. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for your wins this year. I've been blessed by this session myself. Diligently pursuing your goal, being keen to keep things in order, prudently think through to make the right decisions, having the heart to look through again. I love you. Have a great week. Have a great day. Have a great month. Have a winning year. Please share this video with someone. Tell them that it's 45 minutes thereabouts, and it will be some light on their path. Mwah! Bye for now.